single text message that exists out there. Lay them out. Put them on a website for the world to see. Have them see the truth
one of Hollywood,
and determine
as
the
most
truth for
beloved
themselves.
couples alongside Ryan Reynolds. But while the world praised her for her red carpet looks and wholesome image, a shocking set of leaked court documents may now be rewriting that narrative entirely. According to an ongoing civil case filed in Los Angeles, Blake has been named in a series of accusations that claim she orchestrated a deliberate campaign to tarnish the reputations of fellow celebrities, actors, influencers, and insiders who allegedly stood in her way. The lawsuit, which was originally kept under seal, surfaced briefly before a protective order was requested. In those crucial hours, leaked pages of the filing went viral on social media. The documents accuse Blake of using anonymous sources, private media contacts, and strategic PR leaks to discredit rivals and remove competition from roles, endorsements, and even personal circles. This wasn't just a petty feud, it was described as a coordinated, well-financed operation that spanned several years. One accuser, whose identity remains sealed under a Jane Doe alias, claims she lost multiple acting opportunities due to rumors and private emails allegedly traced back to Blake's team. Even more alarming, the leaked filing suggests Blake may have worked through intermediaries, PR firms, gossip columnists, and entertainment journalists to push false or exaggerated narratives into public discourse. Emails and message threads included in the evidence reportedly show detailed conversations about timing leaks before red carpet events, releasing blinds to online tabloids, and quietly feeding scandals to harm rising stars in fashion and film. These weren't just rumors, they were part of a long-term strategy, according to the plaintiff, to protect Blake's brand image at any cost. The backlash was swift. While Blake has not publicly responded to the allegations, her legal team issued a general denial and pushed for the court to suppress the leaked material. They claimed the accusations are defamatory and fueled by professional jealousy. However, several Hollywood insiders have already confirmed the existence of a media machine surrounding Blake that carefully manages her image, sometimes at the expense of others. Critics say this lawsuit just confirms what many in the industry have whispered for years. For fans, the news came as a shock. Blake Lively was never supposed to be that kind of celebrity. She wasn't the drama-stirring headline maker. She was the one we looked up to, but now her silence is raising questions, and her inner circle is noticeably quiet. Even her husband, Ryan Reynolds, typically outspoken and media-savvy, has remained silent on the matter, sparking speculation that he may have been kept in the dark or worse, complicit in the background strategy. This is just the beginning, as more filings are expected to surface and as the protective order is debated in court. The world is starting to see another side of Blake Lively, a side that's less glamorous, more calculating, and potentially dangerous to those in her orbit. Behind every beloved celebrity, there's a team. And in Blake Lively's case, sources say that team is more than just a stylist and social media manager. It's a full-fledged reputation management machine. The leaked court documents don't just accuse Blake of whisper campaigns. They provide a digital paper trail, encrypted emails, WhatsApp screenshots, and NDA-covered PR briefings that detail a calculated strategy to control the narrative at the expense of her rivals. Multiple insiders, including two former assistants and one disgruntled agency rep, allege that Blake employed a private firm known for crisis response in the entertainment industry. This firm, according to leaked invoices and contracts, had one goal: suppress negative press and strategically release harmful stories about competitors. While this kind of media manipulation isn't new to Hollywood, what makes Blake's case different is the degree of coordination and the intensity of the tactics used. One particularly damning detail in the filing involves a now infamous blind item that accused an unnamed actress of cheating on her director husband. That blind item spread like wildfire, damaging the actress's brand overnight. In the court filing, the plaintiff alleges that this story, once thought to be anonymous gossip, was strategically placed and sourced back to Lively's media team as a retaliation for a prior feud on set. The documents include metadata and source notes from a freelance publicist hired through a shell email. But it wasn't just rivals in film. Influencers and fashion icons were also reportedly targeted. One TikTok creator who grew her following off celebrity fashion breakdowns says she was mysteriously shadow banned after posting two critical videos about Lively's brand deals. Weeks later, she received a cease and desist letter claiming defamation, even though her content had referenced only public contracts and red carpet images. She's now listed as a witness in the growing civil complaint alleging intimidation tactics and potential blacklisting. Several journalists have come forward off the record, claiming they were either offered exclusive access in exchange for loyalty to Blake's narrative or warned not to publish negative content. One editor even claimed her piece about Blake's controversial role in a failed film project was softened after pressure from the actress's publicist, who allegedly promised red carpet access in return. This gatekeeping of the narrative, the filing alleges, created a chilling effect that allowed Blake's strategy to go unchecked for years. What's more, the lawsuit claims that Blake used her relationship with other Power Players studio heads, designers, and award show organizers to quietly push her adversaries out of the picture. These weren't just rumors. In one email chain, her stylist allegedly coordinated with a luxury brand to pull a dress from another actress last minute, ensuring Blake was the sole ambassador of the evening's biggest couture moment. All of this points to a bigger issue. At what point does image control become reputation sabotage? And how much power should one celebrity hold over the careers of others? The plaintiff's legal team argues that Blake's behavior crosses the line from branding to bullying. They've requested the court issue subpoenas for the involved PR firms and media outlets, and their motion for a protective order aims to shield witnesses from retaliation as more evidence emerges. But Blake's attorneys have countered with claims that this is all a smear campaign, a vendetta fueled by envy and opportunism. For now, the industry is divided. Some listers have distanced themselves from the situation, quietly removing Blake from their following lists on Instagram. Others, including a major female producer, have stepped forward in support of the plaintiff. This isn't just about Blake, she told reporters. It's about the culture of fear that's been allowed to grow in Hollywood. This case might finally blow the lid off, and so the tension builds. With every leak, every silent unfollow, and every new document teased on legal gossip blogs, the world edges closer to learning just how deep Blake Lively's influence really goes and whether it's been used to build a career or destroy others. As the fallout from the legal filing continues to ripple across Hollywood, the question everyone is now asking is, who were Blake Lively's targets? Who stood in her way? And what did she allegedly do to make them disappear from red carpets, cast lists, and trending timelines? Among the names whispered behind closed doors, 3 stand out repeatedly. A breakout indie actress who was once cast opposite Ryan Reynolds in a shelved romantic thriller, a rising fashion muse who shared brand sponsorships with Blake, and a fellow A-lister from a major Netflix project that was rumored to be plagued by behind-the-scenes drama. The first, whose identity remains protected in court filings, was allegedly the subject of whisper campaigns that claimed she was unprofessional, emotionally unstable, and secretly difficult to work with. Her career, which was on an undeniable upward trajectory in 2020, mysteriously stalled. The plaintiff's evidence includes a timeline of blog posts, blind item drops, and sudden contract terminations, all coinciding with Blake's strategic positioning. In the same circles, texts between executives and PR staff even reference keeping Blake happy by avoiding certain casting choices. The second woman, an international model turned actress, was supposedly set to replace Blake as the face of a major luxury brand. But 2 weeks before the campaign launched, anonymous tips about her party girl behavior hit gossip blogs with pixelated images and unnamed sources close to the brand. According to the court filing, those tips originated from a burner email connected to a PR freelancer who had previously worked on Blake's fragrance deal. The result, the model's contract was pulled and Blake's renewed brand deal was quietly extended. But perhaps the most chilling allegation comes from the Netflix production. Blake, it's claimed, felt undermined by her co-star's improvisation and chemistry with the director, chemistry that may have shifted critical attention away from her. The lawsuit alleges that Blake's team leaked fake dating rumors between the co-star and a married crew member, creating a tabloid frenzy that ultimately led the studio to recast parts of the film in post-production. The actress, though never named in mainstream headlines, was reportedly emotionally shattered and withdrew from press tours. She has since stepped away from Hollywood entirely, and yet none of these women have spoken publicly. Whether it's NDA letters, fear of backlash, or simply exhaustion, their silence has only added to the growing speculation and fueled the argument for why a protective order was requested. Legal experts believe the anonymity of Jane Doe is meant not only to protect the plaintiff but also to shield others who may still be under threat from industry retaliation. Meanwhile, social media detectives have been piecing together patterns: Instagram unfollows, sudden brand dropouts, missing press appearances, and connecting the dots to a larger strategy. Hashtags like #BlakeExposed and #JusticeForDoe have begun trending, and multiple fan accounts dedicated to other celebrities have posted support messages, calling out Hollywood gatekeeping. What's more, there's now speculation that Blake Lively didn't act alone. Some reports suggest that certain publicists, stylists, and even brand managers knowingly cooperated, either out of loyalty or in exchange for favors. One anonymous PR whistleblower claimed that a celebrity inner circle exists, one that operates like a secret society, blacklisting and boosting talent based on favors, deals, and alliances. Blake wasn't running a war, they said. She was playing chess, and most people didn't even know they were on the board. This insider, who reportedly supplied data to the legal team, insists that dozens of career collapses in Hollywood aren't just bad luck, they're calculated. And Blake, according to the documents, was allegedly one of the few celebrities with enough media goodwill and elite connections to pull the strings without question. But as the filings gain traction and the protective order stalls those once invisible strings are now becoming more visible than ever. As legal proceedings intensify, Blake Lively's team is now fighting tooth and nail to keep the remaining court documents sealed. Their latest motion, a request for a protective order, is aimed at suppressing any further leaks, shielding names, and preventing the media from obtaining potentially explosive details that remain hidden from the public, according to legal experts. This protective order, if granted, could halt public access to the documents that have so far exposed the inner workings of Blake's alleged media manipulations. Her lawyers claim that the leaks violate her right to a fair trial and that the accusers, mainly anonymous, are using viral buzz to create a false narrative. They've argued that the released documents are selectively edited out of context and meant to damage her public image. In their most recent statement, they described the lawsuit as a coordinated smear campaign against a high-profile individual with deep pockets, but critics and independent journalists aren't buying it. In fact, media watchdogs have now joined the fray. Outlets like The Hollywood Fix, Deadline, and even the New York Times have started launching their own investigations. A piece titled "America's Sweetheart" or "Silent Saboteur" went viral, outlining patterns of career collapses tied to Blake's orbit. While none of these stories offer definitive proof, they're adding fuel to an already blazing fire. Meanwhile, the court of public opinion is rapidly polarizing. Fans are split. Some believe Blake is a victim of cancel culture and vindictive ex-co-workers. Others say the carefully crafted good girl image was always a facade. Comment sections across YouTube and TikTok are ablaze with debates pointing to past red carpet interviews, awkward cast interactions, and sudden friendship breakups that now feel, in hindsight, like early warning signs. One viral TikTok video titled "The Blake Lively You Don't Know" compiles over 25 clips where co-stars appear uncomfortable or visibly annoyed during interviews with her. Another shows timelines of former fashion collaborators who've mysteriously stopped working with her. While circumstantial, the volume of these fan-led investigations is staggering. Adding to the tension is the noticeable silence from Ryan Reynolds. As Blake's husband and longtime creative partner, many expected him to issue a statement, or at least post a show of support. But there's been nothing, no comments, no interviews, just promotional posts for Deadpool 3 and football highlights. Some insiders believe Ryan is distancing himself from the scandal to protect his own brand. Others whisper he may have known about her behind-the-scenes strategy and is simply lying low. And then there's the strange shift in Hollywood behavior. Since the court documents surfaced, several celebrities have seemingly unfollowed Blake on Instagram, including a prominent Netflix actress, a major fashion designer, and even one of her former Gossip Girl co-stars. One red carpet reporter noted that Blake was excluded from a recent L'Oreal campaign. Despite being a past face of the brand, it's subtle, she said, but it's real. People are waiting to see where this lands before they attach themselves again. Still, Blake has her defenders. A list: friends like Taylor Swift and Anna Wintour have remained close with Taylor, even photographed having dinner with Blake days after the filings went public. Some argue that the entire situation is exaggerated, a media circus crafted to turn a high-powered woman into a villain. Hollywood doesn't know what to do with powerful women who control their image, one op-ed argued, so they label them dangerous. But at the heart of this storm isn't just a celebrity, it's the system itself. The lawsuit has inadvertently pulled the curtain back on how Hollywood really works. The favor trading, the PR manipulation, the weaponizing of gossip. Blake may be the center of the scandal, but she's far from the only one who's played the game, and that's what makes this case historic. Because for the first time, someone might actually be held accountable, not just for what they did in public, but for what they whispered behind the scenes. As the dust settles, for now, the once glamorous image of Blake Lively is fractured, perhaps beyond repair. What began as a quiet court filing has exploded into one of the most shocking celebrity scandals of the decade. A cautionary tale of power, privilege, and the price of protecting a pristine image. At the heart of the legal firestorm is a woman who once embodied the American sweetheart ideal. Blake Lively wasn't just a fashion icon, red carpet queen, and rom-com muse. She was the relatable celebrity, the grounded girl next door who made it big. Married to Ryan Reynolds, mother to 4 BFFs with Taylor Swift, beloved by fashion houses and streaming giants alike. But behind the pastel gowns and cheeky interviews, this lawsuit paints a starkly different portrait. A woman accused of strategically weaponizing her access to Hollywood's PR machinery to allegedly ruin careers, silence rivals, and control narratives. If even a fraction of the allegations are true, it suggests a level of manipulation so precise, so relentless, that it threatens to redefine how we understand fame itself. What makes this story even more unsettling is the way it implicates others. Publicists, journalists, executives, influencers. These weren't rogue moves. This was an entire system, one that rewards image over integrity, silence over truth, and loyalty over justice. And now that system is being called into question. The lawsuit and its subsequent protective order battle has already forced major studios, brands, and agencies to reevaluate their contracts, their press strategies, and their talent relationships. It's also galvanized a new generation of fans and whistleblowers, online detectives who refuse to let PR spin bury the truth. The court's final ruling on whether the protective order will be granted is still pending. But regardless of the outcome, the damage has been done. The whispers have turned into headlines, and the narrative is no longer Blake's to control. Ryan Reynolds remains silent, studios are staying distant, and while Blake has returned to posting smiling selfies and baking videos, the comments tell a different story. Address the lawsuit. We believed in you. Is it true? Whether Blake Lively is ultimately vindicated or condemned, one thing is clear. Hollywood is no longer a place where secrets stay buried. The age of curated illusions is cracking, and in its place we're seeing a new era of celebrity accountability. Maybe she was misunderstood. Maybe she was a mastermind. Maybe she played a game that's been played by many but got caught because she played it too well. In the end, this expose isn't just about Blake Lively. It's about an industry built on image illusion and quiet sabotage. It's about the people who are brave enough to speak out, and the ones who get destroyed when they do, and perhaps most importantly, it's about us, the audience, finally asking the right questions. Let us know in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe for more uncensored Hollywood exposes, and don't forget to ring that bell for updates on the most shocking stories in celebrity culture. This is Cinematic Sins, and the truth doesn't come wrapped in couture.